Hey. Yeah. I know I'm a minute late. Not even a minute late. It's just for a couple of seconds late. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Am I even on tonight? Doesn't even seem like I'm on tonight. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Um, I actually thought that we were going to have a lot of people on tonight. That is not the case. And I'd already stated that I was in the probably going to take a quick little evening off type of night. But I said, everyone and their mother is probably going to come on tonight. Lupe Espinosa, ¿cómo estás, mi papi? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Tony. We have a lunch date, don't we, Tony? I think we do. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Or brunch date. I don't remember. But we had something going. Oh. Brianna, hermosa, Brianna, hermosa. I love my raza out there in Viking land. Let me say that, yes. Let me say, guys, I actually thought that we were going to have more people on tonight. And the reason is because we had such an amazing show this morning. It was a great show. And it was crazy because the truth of the matter is, I'd only planned to be on uh 30 minutes, guys. What the hell is going on in the city of Brownsville, guys? It's like it's crazy night tonight. Everyone's out there having accidents and stuff, and cars burning, and it seems like just like everything's going to hell in the hell in a handbasket. I think that's the way the expression goes. But we had an amazing show this morning. So I'm kind of surprised because I thought there was going to be individuals that were going to be interested in conversing as to what transpired this morning. Because the show was kind of like indicative, I think, of everything else that's been going on in the city of Brownsville. It's just been a train wreck. Crap. Well, it's like I gotta wait until the damn video loads. So this morning I come on and I said, you know what? A quick show. Uh, I've got a meeting with the guys. Actually, was going to meet with Susan and with Carlo at 9:30. It was crazy because we were supposed to go to Morning Glory, and we thought we'd go over there, have a little bit of brunch, have a little bit of conversation, and talk about the next steps that we're going to be seeing in regards to what's going on with uh, us speaking to attorneys out there concerning what we plan to do concerning PUB. And it so happens that while I was doing the show this morning, my buddy Vito comes in, and I said, "Well, it's good that you're here, cause I'm pretty upset with the Charter Review Committee in regards to what the big old nothing that it's done up to this point. Crap." So he comes in, I go like, "Oh, it's great." So what happens is, guys, I thought, well, crap. I'm going to finish off with Vito, and then I'll go meet up with Susan and Carlo. Well, Carlos sends me a message and then lets me know that there is no morning glory on Mondays, and I did not know that they do not open. So I told Carlo, mm, "Come to my office," and I told Susan, "Come to my office, and we'll talk to Vito for a little bit." So what happens is Susan comes in, and I said, "Well, go ahead and take over." And Susan took over the show in the morning, and it was pretty much a good show. And one of the things that I've learned is that there's a lot of great, talented people out there. Sam, get your butt into the show. I didn't know what you're saying because this thing is covering me up. And but it was a great little show. And my concerns with the charter review committee is that nothing has come from it. There's been a lot of comments out there in regards to them not changing anything, and it's a little bit on the disappointing side, more than anything, because I sort of knew that that's what's going to happen. It's one of those things, guys, that it's like, yeah, I'm done. I know that you're going to screw me. So at the end of the day, make sure that I enjoy it. Because if you're screwing me and I'm having to pay for it and I'm not enjoying it, then like something's wrong with that equation because it stops being pleasant. And it stopped being pleasant for, I think, for some of us here in the city of Brownsville for some time now. So I'm glad that there's people like Susan, Carlo, um, Frankie, you know, that are Lena, um, they're out there being loud because we need to get loud. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. And Susan went after Vito and did really well. Carlo and I and had a conversation with Vito afterwards, and it went well too. And look, let me say this about my buddy Vito. Guys, he can take a licking, and keeps on ticking. And I don't think that Vito is going to be one that's going to shy away from continuously to come on to the shows and answer questions. And I can appreciate that, because Susan gave him a whooping this morning. What did you do to Vito, Susan?
Poor Vito. I thought he was going to be on tonight. That's why I'm here.
Well, he was supposed to be on. He said he would be,
Mm,
but I was making mention. I think one of the things about Vito that I can appreciate is that he'll still come around. He'll still take a beating and he'll still come back for more.
hmm
Can't say the same about other folks out there.
Call him up. Tell him I'm
I,
here. Just waiting on him.
I did. I sent him. I actually sent him a link. But you all seem to be a little bit more hopeful than me in regards to the CRC. Or did I misunderstand that completely?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little more on the positive side of it. I'm hoping that they'll do what's right, but they need to get organized, and that's what I was talking to him about after the show. I mean, they got to get organized. This mess of a meeting, that the one I saw the other day, was crazy. No, I mean, it was just a mess. Like, they first of all, they need to start off with the board. What are they going to do with the board? How are they going to revise the charter for the PUB board. That's the main thing. That's the main reason. Then after that, they can worry about everything else. But they need to figure out what they're going to do with those members.
Well,
And I don't think they should be appointed. Elected. I think they should be appointed. I think they should be appointed by a super majority rather than individual appointments. A term limit. I don't know if they have term limits right now. Maybe 2 terms only.
well, what happens is I think something that you made mention this morning, and I've been screaming about for a while. What happens then is that you get these same individuals who then skip hop to other boards and other committees and do
Mhm.
the same crap that they did on one in the other. You did mention that, no? Or did I?
I mentioned that it was the same people over and over. That there's no real vetting. I mean, it's just the favorites of the people that are in office.
Well, look at this. Look at these chicks. These Sandra Langley and the Sanger Science. I mean, they've been all over the place. You know, they've been
Mhm.
all at every other single board. I mean, Langley's out there, taking pictures in Colombia
Mhm.
off of our dime with Mayor Tony Martinez in that whorehouse that they paid for in Colombia, because that's what it was. And when I told people that back 5 years ago, 6 years ago, people were going like, "That's where you're full of crap." I'm going like, "No, guys, they literally spent $20 million to set up a whorehouse for them, so that when they
Mhm.
went to Colombia, that guy, what's the guy's name, Hills, the guy Hills, could go out there and mess with Colombian women." And let me tell you, I've been to Colombia twice. Got a lot of beautiful Colombian women.
Mhm.
But the difference, I went on my dime, you know,
Right.
not the people's dime. And all these individuals that are out there on these boards and committees, like the Sandra Langley, the San Signs, Sampayos, the Art Rendons. I mean, how much more does Art Rendon need to steal from this community? And look, and I get this constantly, and this is what really trips me out, Susan, because this is Commissioner de las Chanclas appointment. I mean, the guy, I was on the board at BISD. We discussed his raterio behind closed doors. And I don't care if people say you're not supposed to say what happens behind those closed doors. We discussed it. You're not going to tell me that guy's not a rata. You're not.
Mhm.
You're not going to convince me and other individuals at BISD who know of his track record and his track
Mhm.
record at TSC. And now he's on the PUP board, and we're supposed to we're expected to believe that we're going somewhere. I'm sorry, we're not going anywhere because Carlos Cascos might be on there. He might be fighting for the people of Brownsville, but that's it. Vito, I think wants to do the right thing. They're still outnumbered, you
Mhm.
know. So we're going to get nothing. And my thing is, and I don't know if you've heard my spiels, how long you've been hearing my spiels, but my thing is the scroll tactic. Have you heard me talk about the scroll tactic?
No.
Why haven't you been watching my damn shows?
No, I just started. I really didn't like you that much before.
Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of those people still. But the scroll tactic, Susan, is when they. Did you see the movie? What the hell is the name of that damn movie with the Up? Up.
Yes.
Okay. You remember when the dog goes, squirrels?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the scroll tactic. And that's what
Mm.
they do. They go like, oh, look, up here, scroll. And they try to distract you, like, look up here. Don't look down here where I'm taking the money out of your pocket. Look, scroll up here. And
Yeah.
this is what I think is happening with this CRC thing. Oh, this is what you want? This is what you want? Okay, look, scroll. We'll do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Out of the bottom. Let's scroll this old. I need water. Water. So what do you so you think of the scroll tactic?
Oh. Yeah. I mean, that only works on a certain amount of people. I mean, we're gonna have to continue to hold their feet to the fire, which I think we've been doing a very good job of, and hopeful that this committee is gonna do what's right by the people, and you know The main thing is going to be changing the charter when it comes to the board members. That's the main thing. And then after that, everything else is gravy.
But do you okay? But now it's going to the board members, to commissioners.
Hmm.
Do you really think that the commissioners are going to do the right thing at this point? I mean, we've been lied to by every single one of them at this point. I I,
Well,
I just find it so very very hard to believe that they're going to actually do the right thing. And I know you're Miss Positive and I'm Mr. Negative. That's okay. It's balanced. It's
mhm.
very balanced.
Yeah, I mean, if the ones right now are not going to come around and start seeing things the right way and doing it the right way, then and when it's their time, then we take them out. We vote them out.
Who the hell is this guy?
What? That's not veto.
It
That.
looks like Vito. Except with no hair.
It's
Where the hell? Have you,
slightly thinner.
where the hell have you been, man?
What's up?
Where the hell have you been?
I'm busy, man, with work, kind of with work, because I don't work when it's bad weather, and we have had bad weather for like about a week.
Well, then you've had time to be on, dumbass.
Busy.
Yeah, it pops up once every like 3 weeks.
Today in the morning, I was in HEB though. When I saw your great show in the morning,
It was
I
crazy.
saw when he got wild
You got
towards
wild.
the end. It was
But you know what's trippy is because it all came by accident because we were supposed to meet somewhere else. And then, and I was trying to cut off the show, and then Vito walks in, and I actually thought it was Carlo that was walking in. It's Vito going like, "Oh, I got some questions for you." So he walks in and sits down, and then I'm trying to send a message to Carlo because Carlo sends me a message like, "No, Morning Glory's closed." They're like, "Well, come to my office." And Susan gets here, and then it all went to hell.
I would have gotten there earlier, but I kept circling around looking for a parking spot. Good God.
It's horrible.
I'm not the best parallel parker.
Did you ever put that request for like curbside parking or no?
No, because I don't have a drive-through. Remember,
Oh,
I don't fulfill
that's
the
why you're
requirement.
supposed to provide that service.
drive-through notary. There you go.
I can't do that. But it's too cold. But yeah, I'm actually going. Trust me, now that it's probably going to be slow these next couple of days, I might just do that just to be an asshole, an a-hole. Sorry, but more importantly, why the hell didn't you like me, Susan?
You're a tough person to like.
I know that. No, trust me, I
And
know.
it's crazy because I don't know. I know a lot of people, they're just like right off the back, they all that stuff first, and then it's just a bunch of hearsay, and then by the time they get to like their true self, it's like, it's not bad of a person after all.
Mhm.
I've met a lot of people that has happened to.
Well, it is trippy. Well, not to get off subject, of course, I'm not trying to do the scroll thing, but I do get that a lot. I get that a lot. I get it from people like, I just dislike you. I'm not completely sure why, but I hate the crap out of you. Like, oh, it's okay. I really don't care. I really don't mind. But I think if you watch the show this morning, Sam, it's very, very, very Jason Hills. Chris knows Jason Hills. Yeah, again, whorehouse in Colombia, guys. Not even joking. People may think that I exaggerate this stuff, but then again, take into consideration, people were thinking that I was
I thought he was
exaggerating.
just going over there to generate business over here.
Well, that was what was supposed to happen, but that wasn't what happened. All they did was had a little apartment out there that they used for slam bam. Thank you, Colombian ma'ams. And it's unfortunate because we paid for all that. And again, there's no way to go back and to trace it because there's always these. Oh, we went because it was privileged information. So I guess something that you've encountered, Susan, with requests for PRIs.
Gosh, I've been what? I think it's been at least a month to 3 weeks that I've been waiting for. And it's every time I get an email, I'm like, woohoo, here it comes. And it's another clarification. I couldn't be any more clear on what I needed. They're just delaying. But it's inevitable. They're gonna have to give it all over to me. So
That's usually what they do. No, that's one. They pretty much just keep on giving you the rundowns in every
Mhm.
Yeah,
KR.
we well, this is what's so trippy because a lot of stuff that you're going through, Susan. Yeah, it's just like for me, it's been like, man, another attorney general opinion. Oh,
Like
gotta
I've
wait
been there,
another.
done that.
Been there, and it's trippy because, like a lot of folks are like that on our little group thing. It amazed me because like we have some individuals on there that have been around the fights for a while, and sometimes I'll have to remind of them like, hey, do you remember when this happened? And they're going like, yeah, I think so. I'm going like, maybe they don't. Maybe I'm the only negative individual in Brownsville. I'm kind of starting to feel bad now.
Well, I just didn't know about all of that stuff before because I wasn't really paying attention to it, to be honest with you. I just recently got into politics, I'm going to say about a year. Well, actually when Jessica was running and then now Myra running. So, and then locally I didn't have any idea that all this corruption was happening and all this was going on. So, now that I have my eyes and ears open, well now
I
I
think
do, but
that's what
before I
happened with
didn't.
Erasmo. Yeah, that's what happened with him back in the day when he would just figure out the whole UTV thing,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
he just found one thing, and he just unwraps more things, and then you just start seeing the true colors of BISD, PUB, Cameron County, and
It's
it's a mess.
it's overwhelming, and and Sam's right. That's exactly what happened. What happened to me? It got to a point, Susan, that I was going like, I mean, am I crazy? Am
Mhm.
I the madman? Am I the only one that's seeing all this crap? And I actually, for a while there, I actually thought I was going berserk. Uh,
Mhm.
I was probably right, but I thought I was going nuts because I actually stopped myself going, like, is everything here just corrupt? And the answer was yes. Everything, every single governmental entity in the city of Brownsville, and it started there at UTB when they were trying to rip off $1, Susan, $1 from the students. They were trying to pocket that dollar, and I said, like, well, why? Well, because it's for the International Student Fund. I'm going like, and what do they do with my dollar? And then they go like, why are you asking those questions?
Mhm.
I'm going like, because it's my damn dollar. And then they
Okay,
gave me
have
the
you heard? Okay, on that thing, have you heard of the increment of what they're going to be charging now per hour because
$4.
of the football program?
Oh,
Oh.
that's
Mm-mm.
another mess. But and then so when I went
It's
there
gonna
for the
increase
dollar,
by like almost $14.
huh? You cut off
It's gonna increase by like $14. They're gonna be
14
charging $27 a credit hour.
four- $14 an hour.
A credit hour?
No more.
That's why more credit hour.
Yeah, yeah,
You're freezing. You're like going in and out,
yeah.
in and
'Cause
out.
it used to be like about 16 or 17. Now it's gonna be 27.
Oh. Well, going back into my dollar thing that Sam very graciously interrupted me on. So then what happens is, so they say, well, Erasmo, and then they said, Erasmo, don't worry about it, Erasmo. Most of these people, get financial aid. Financial aid pays for it. And I'm going like,
Who do you
who
think pays for that?
who pays for the and yeah, I said, well, who pays for the financial aid? And they go like, well, the government. I go like, didn't we just take a class and tell us that we're the government, so we're paying for that? So that, but it's the same. And the reason I went through the whole spiel, Susan, is because it's the same model that they use in every single entity.
Mhm.
Oh, it's not your money. It's grant money from the government, from the state. It's not your money. It's Elon Musk's money, Erasmo. And
Mhm.
I'm going like, that's still my money, you know. And it's the same schooling everywhere it goes. And again, this is what happened with Tanaka. One of the things that I hope that we can be a little bit on the louder side, you know, is that it's not just about Tanasca.
Mm-mm.
And I think a lot of times we might I'm wearing my poncho. We might you know, seem like all we're focusing is on Tenasca, and that's not the big picture. I mean,
Right.
that's what we could prove right now. The big picture is the corrupt individuals who lie, cheat, steal, who were uncovered. Some of them who were uncovered with the audit.
Yeah, and also the way that PUB is being run, it's being run like a private company, and it shouldn't be. And there needs to be a lot more oversight within the city commission and city in general. Because we vote those commissioners in to take care of our interest, and our interest is that public utilities. Um, so the oversight needs to be a lot more than what it is right now, and that's where Vito needs to come in, and and everybody else needs to come in and rewrite that charter to make sure that we have more. Because I can't stand when any of those commissioners come in and say, I have my hands tied. I have my hands tied. We can't do anything. We can't do anything. We have our hands tied. Give me a freaking break. We own that. We own that utilities company. I
Well,
can't believe they're stuck like they are.
the way that it is right now, they own us.
Yeah.
We
Just
have
like BASD right now. The board, the superintendent is the one running the show when it should be the board. It's so backwards right now at BASD, and that's exactly the way it is at PUB right now.
well, the only plus side on BISD is that the community gets to elect.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about PUB. And that, I think, is what I think Vito and the rest of the CRC have not understood. That's why they're getting together for. They are getting together, and this is one of the things that I tried to make Vito understand. They're getting together because we're pissed as a community.
Right.
We're pissed. We want some sense of justice.
Mm-hmm.
And you made mention of something this morning that I think is just foreign to him completely, because even Vito didn't mention of either way in regards to removal of Sandra Signs. She's got to be removed.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And they're still out there defending her stances and being there by saying, well, innocent against proven guilty. Well, it's not a court of law. It's
It has
not
nothing to do with law. It has
nothing.
nothing to do with criminal acts or anything like that. It has to do with a simple but absolute conflict of interest.
Get her off. You know, get her off. And then slowly, and next uh, May, after the charter change, and hopefully the city commission and the mayor's seat, then after all that changes, then get rid of a couple more, and let's start anew. And that's and that and I've been screaming about this for at least 8 years since the first time that I ran for mayor. What we need to do in the city of Brownsville, and I don't care what anyone thinks. People might have a different opinion. What we need to do is we need to destroy all of it.
Mm-hmm.
The BCIC board, GBEC, PUB, zoning, uh, parks. Everything has got to go. Beautificate everyone, and let's start anew. Why is that so hard? Let's get
Yeah.
everyone out there to apply anew.
On those 50 boards that we have on that city website, I don't know, I'm going to say probably 3 or 4 months ago, I asked for an updated list on every single board and committee and task force that the city has and the members and their expiration, all of that. It's so disorganized anyway. And just like the charter committee, it was gone. It wasn't even in operation until Tanasca came about again, and they had to go back and redo it. They don't keep up with it. It's a joke. The only ones is the ones that handle those big bucks and have that, like you say, those the ability to grease those wheels. That's the only ones that stay in business and that they really care about. All the other ones are a joke.
As of right now, I think that there's three candidates that have stated who are interested in running in District 2. I know the names, but I'm not going to go out there and state until they decide to state on their own. Uh, I, I I can't say that any of them, any of the three individuals that I know so far, and this is what's going to be kind of trippy, guys, because this is where I think we have to figure something out. I like all three individuals that are running in District 2, you know, but I don't want the individual that I like to run for city commission. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
I want the individual and I want to support the individual that's going to do a good job
Hmm.
because the like factor shouldn't, you know, I like all three candidates, but I think that I want to wait and have like a little debate and have a little, you know, forum out there and let's see what they're bringing to the table, guys. It's a very, very important position. Think more because there will be no incumbent running in that race, and there's three other positions going to be up for grabs. We still don't know who's running for District 1. We don't even know if Galansi is going to seek re-election. I think she's going to, or she's going to run for mayor, and that's going to be
Wasn't
very
she gonna
interesting.
run for mayor?
Huh?
I don't
What?
think so.
Who?
Galansky run for
Wasn't she
mayor?
gonna run for mayor?
Yeah,
With
that's what I just said. I just said that she's probably going to run for mayor, and that's going to be a lot of fun for me.
Mm.
Carlos asked in the group chat. He goes like, "Well, when are y'all gonna announce for mayor?" And we're like, "I thought I already did."
Didn't you do that like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I don't think Carlos was watching the damn show. Por eso no
Oh.
avanza Broadville, but more so Cameron County. You know, and let me say, guys, and this is this morning you mentioned Susan in regards to Bruciak giving himself a raise in the middle of a pandemic. Let me tell you, you would think that more people would be pissed off that this guy that lied, cheated, stole, fabricated, invented, manipulated, greased. More people would be pissed off that he gave himself what 100 200 percent raise. I think it was 100% raise. 150. Can't remember. We gave himself a huge old raise. You think more people would be upset? I think most people aren't because it was the same argument we made in regards to the county judge and the county commissioners giving themselves a raise.
Hmm.
People seem not to care, and that really baffles my mind. You know, are we really living in a bizarre world where individuals just don't care, or they were like Susan, just didn't know?
Hmm. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's also a combination of he's my friend. He's my friend, and he just because he's my friend, he's gonna do everything. He's not doing that. He didn't do that. He couldn't have done that. They vote for that a lot here. And I mean, we have to educate. That's the only thing we can do. Hopefully things will change. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty positive about it. Um, but we got to start with what we have right now. And right now it's just trash. Sorry.
It is trash. And now you're sounding negative.
Well, unless they're going to change, show me the action. Show me something. Roy had
is that how we used to say, man? Like, we don't want to be negative. Would you want to be your friend, Mr. Grove, and say positive things about you? But when all you have is all this negative stuff.
My God, Craig Grove. And let me tell you, I don't know how
Yeah, you
anyone
try to
could
be optimistic, but man, all this
my
nonsense is
Lord.
going on.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like, no, everything's peachy keen. Everything's great.
Yeah,
I'm going
see,
like,
if you want somebody that's going to tell you what your itchy ears want to hear, it's not going to be me. Definitely not going to be me.
But it's going to be a fun 6 to 8 months.
Hmm.
6 months. Sam says that they don't work in bad weather, pero tú siempre está sentado adentro de la camioneta. That's true, Sam. Every time you do come on, you're
Always.
sitting in a truck doing nothing. Susan, it's been corrupted for years. Yep. PUV board has given too much was given too much power, and there is nothing the city of Brownsville can do until the charter is rewritten. I just don't have faith that that's going to happen.
No, they have to. They have to put up something for a vote. If even if it's at minimal, the board, they have to put up something for a vote.
Um,
I can't imagine at least, a couple of them on the board, maybe the more like Carlos and Vito, the more veteran ones. I can't imagine that they're going to meet every week for no reason at all.
well, remember when I think was didn't someone make mention that Vito had stated? I didn't hear it. Someone made mention Vito had said, "No, let's just leave it the way it is."
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I'm actually going to go back because that's why I questioned him this morning. I don't remember him being in favor of overseeing the CEO's salary. I remember him being against that. And if it wasn't him, my mistake, it would have been someone else, but someone was pretty against it. Carlos, I remember Carlos being the one that put it forward. He was the one that was talking about, making sure that they have an eye on the budget, on everything else. But somebody was absolutely against it, and I just can't remember who it was.
Well, if
And I
we had
thought it was
Vito on tonight, Vito, we'd be able to ask. Linda says she's not running. Um, well, then there's two people that who have stated they want to run. I'm watching right now.
I
Did I?
don't think I don't think Carlo liked you before either, to be honest with you.
I really didn't. It's kind of trippy because Carlo, we'd go back and forth because of being conservative and him being such a damn liberal. And and I said one time, you know what? And I say it to everyone. I go like, you know what? Let's meet up for brunch and coffee. And he says, okay. And I was going like, huh? Because I do that. I usually just to go like, I've made the offer. You didn't show up. Screw it. So we got together, and did go. He went to Morning Glory, and we were sitting there. And we're like, oh, he did come. So I went off on my spiel, like, oh, this, and this, and this, and all I want is just tell me, show me, and we got screwed. And I think me and Carlos, uh, a love triangle, started to hit because of the audit. I think the audit, it for a lot of individuals, it was just like, oh crap,
Yeah.
this a hole was right all the time.
Yeah. Yep. You're definitely right on this one. That's for sure.
Which one was I wrong on?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying this one for sure.
Well, one of the things, again, I don't know how long you've been watching the show, but I tell people, I go like, somebody prove me wrong. As I was out there screaming about Sylvia Atkinson and the monies and the money stolen at the BISD. And I'm going like, please, someone prove me wrong. Never could. About that Laura Cisneros, that chick from food services. I went after that chick, and because of how she mistreated our people. And I said, someone prove me wrong. And she got fired finally. And, I made mention in regards to the Fly Frontera thing, went out there to fight what was that thing we did with the fertilizer, the crap, the fertilizer crap. And I'm going like, and they're like, Erasmo, why are you calling them out? And we're like, well, prove me wrong. And mocos, it was, and I don't know how, I don't have any clue, nothing, no knowledge about fertilizer. I didn't even know that stuff could spoil, or what was the thing with this fertilizer, Sam? ¿Te acuerdas?
Was it all information like the fertilizer thing? It was passed on to you. It's just the fact that you have a big platform
I got a big
to
one.
expose all those things, which it takes a city to control the city. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think people don't realize, and I'm sure you can attest to this, Erasmo, is that people send you stuff. You think that now we're just sitting there like me. Now that I'm involved, I'm just sitting there and I find out all this information all by myself. I mean, no, I don't have time to do the research. What I do is I just make sure what they're sending me is true and factual before I, talk about it. But I mean, every day it's text after text or inbox after inbox on little things here and there, things that are going on in the city that they have firsthand knowledge of.
Mu-
So,
and multiply that times probably 50, and that's
yeah,
my day. And
yeah.
and and I say that because, and let me say this, and I'm glad you're on. Let me say this, and I appreciate, because I know one of the things that I've gotten from people is, man, Susan is just, and I'm not saying this because I don't do compliments. I mean, unless I'm saying them to myself. But oh, Susan is great. She's out there fighting, and she speaks so eloquently, and she goes. People are appreciative, and I know you get a lot of those messages as well. So what
Mhm,
happens is, and this is one of the reasons why I became, you know, so handsome and so famous, is because a lot of people would trust that we're going to go out there and scream for them because they
mhm,
can't, and that's what happens, and that's what really got to me, in regards to every single little fight that I ever picked up, was I would get bashed by people like, oh, that's okay, and this, and then they're going to stop talking to you, and I said, I don't care if the politicians stop talking to me. I'm not out there to make friends with them.
mhm,
I'm out there to be the voice of these individuals who can't speak for themselves,
mhm,
who fear retaliation, who just don't have a platform. So,
mhm,
and I've gotten a lot of that, and even, I don't know if Sam, you've started to get. I know that when you were coming on, Perro, when you were coming on, you start to get a lot of people out there, sending you friend requests and sending you messages.
mhm.
Is that Sam or Mo? I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I still get friend requests.
Mhm.
Yeah, because people,
No, I still get friend requests and messages and then and information and stuff.
you look exactly like Mo.
Who's Mo? Who's Mo?
You know Mo, right?
One mo.
Mo Garza,
Oh,
Fat
okay.
Mo,
The peppers.
fat Mo, pobrecito. I love you, Mo. I'm just joking, but don't get depressed. But
Yeah. Well, you've been doing it longer too, so I'm sure you have a lot more people. But they do. They send a lot of things over because they can't speak, and I don't care what anybody thinks. If you don't like what I say, don't listen. If you don't agree with me, that's okay too. But if I feel in my heart that I need to say what I'm going to say, then keep scrolling if you don't like it. It's
preach.
just simple.
I agree. So you really think Carlos didn't like me before?
That what?
So you really think Carlos didn't like me before?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I cannot confirm or deny.
He goes. I'm pretty sure it goes back and forth.
Mhm.
I'm gonna leave the show tonight very traumado.
I'm negative.
do
Carlo
you
didn't like
remember? Do you remember that SNL skit,
it.
that Frank Tarkenton used to do? Smiley or something? Gosh darn it!
Mm-mm.
No, this guy that would look in the mirror and go like, "You remember that one, Sam, or no?" Like, I'm handsome, I'm smart, and gosh darn it, people like me.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You remember that one? Oh
Hey,
no.
and you have a mirror there on your setup. That's what that's for. Every morning. Every morning. His morning pep talk. Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go next time and I want to write it with a little erasable marker, that little statement.
Gosh darn it, people like me. Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna make
caught
you
me.
a shirt that says that.
It's funny because as Susan was going like, "Oh my God, this big old setup you got here."
I didn't know which camera to look into, which TV. I mean, I was overwhelmed.
Limpia el espejo, no seas malo.
I know. I was actually trying to look at all that spit I've
Todo
got on it.
sucio.
Can you see it? Look at that right there. It's horrible. And I actually cleaned a little bit of it. I was trying to show people there. There's the camera that Susan was talking about. There's
Mhm.
one TV there, and then there's this other TV right over there where I watch YouTube, and that's my Jim Morrison. Can you see my Jim Morrison there?
I
You
didn't see it
see
this morning. I was trying to keep up with all
there?
the cameras and
You see it?
angles, and
That's my Jim Morrison.
there it is.
That's actually a lithograph, a Joel Brodsky lithograph. There's
Mm,
only 5,000 of those. Let me tell you, that's an expensive piece of art.
wow.
So if you're going to write on my mirror, please don't write on my Jim Morrison.
No, no, that's way over there in the corner. I won't even attempt to get over there.
Sorry to say, to the people in Brownsville and Cameron County, like bending over and taking the shot right. Yeah, that's unfortunately you're right. I agree with Ben Benavides. Ben is amazing. Doesn't take a law degree. They steal and cheat. Deep thoughts with Stuart Smalley. That's it.
Hmm.
Thoughts with Stuart Smalley. Gosh darn it, people like me. It's gonna be my middle name because I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, that's it. I'm gonna run on that when I
The
run for
new
mayor.
motto. The new
Yeah,
motto.
when I run for mayor, I'm gonna run on that. Uh, I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Al Franken, he was a senator. Yeah, and you probably worshipped Al Franken. He was a big old liberal, and he got
Mhm.
busted for something. I think I can't remember what. Yeah, Democrats. The voters don't care. Apathy rules in Brownsville and Cameron County. Let me say, and again, I'm running one more race. I'm running for mayor of the city of Brownsville, and I'm done. Out. And Susan can take the mantle.
You can still
Susan,
do the show. What are you talking about?
Susan and Sam can come out and do everything else that needs to be done.
Oh, because you're gonna travel to Colombia, huh?
Yeah, to the whole.
No te pueden meter de, no te pueden meter ni de committee.
Hey, I'll go to Colombia to go visit all those pretty people at the whorehouse that we already paid for anyway.
There you go. Just show your badge.
Try to. Yeah, I need to get a City of Brownsville badge. I think I still have my BISD badge somewhere around here, so I can
There
probably
you
use
go. That'll work.
that. So when's the next meeting?
I don't think there's one until the 24th.
29th?
I know it's next week.
Because this next week is Thanksgiving. This week is Thanksgiving week.
29th. Yeah.
29th? That's a city commission meeting?
The 29th is the commission meeting, and I think on that following day is the charter.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'll be here for the city commission meeting. I will be in Ciudad Mexico on Wednesday.
I'll be here for both, and I'm gonna go to both.
It's good to have some relief. Susan, the ringleader. Yeah,
Oh, great. No. What are you talking about?
I like Mary.
That's your title.
No, I get tripped out when people say that. Thanks for coming on, guys. I was actually going to do a short show. Anything else we want to talk about tonight,
Think we're good?
guys? Thanks for coming on, guys. Remember, I'm smart enough. I'm good enough. And gosh darn it. Even though Sam and Susan don't believe this, people like me. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, guys. Be good to each other.
We'll find a different slogan.